Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be customizing the Ubermacht Revolter in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now this thing, technically by the time you guys are seeing this, will not be the podium vehicle anymore, but if you guys have got one and you want to customize it, this is going to be how I'm going to customize mine. So to start off with, we got the armor on this thing. We're going to go all the way up on that. The brakes as well for sure. The engine all the way up as well. The headlights, we are going to go xenon, of course. The livery, we do have quite a few options for this vehicle. It does have all of these camo options, which are pretty crazy. Don't necessarily know how I feel about them. I don't think that I'm actually going to end up putting any on the car. We've also got these SN liveries and this pink and green camo livery as well. None of them are really sticking out to me too much, so we're just going to leave those alone. Yellow on black for the plate though, for sure. The respray, we are going to go for... I know it's super basic, but like a metallic black looks pretty mean on this thing. We could go for something a little bit different though. I'm thinking of maybe like a dark blue of some sort. Maybe like galaxy blue. I feel like this car would look pretty lethal in galaxy blue. So let's go for that. Let's go for the primary and the secondary in galaxy blue. I think that's a good color for this thing actually. For the trim color, we do have quite a few options here. It is blue, so I kind of want to go for like an all white interior. I don't know. Let's see what that looks like from the outside. It looks alright. It looks pretty good. We'll go for that then. For the transmission, we are going to go all the way up on that for sure. The turbo as well, we're going to add that to the car. For the wheels, I think that I probably want to go for the concave mega mesh on this thing because they are like my favorite rim. And I think that they just look good on like every car. So we're going to go for the concave mega mesh for sure. For the color, we could go for a black, but we could also go for something a little bit more interesting, like maybe a stone silver. Could even go for a frost white, but that kind of defeats the whole purpose of this car. I am interested in checking out what bronze looks like on this thing as well. Doesn't super fit with the whole theme of the car that well, so neither does gold. I think that we are actually going to go for like a stone silver. I think it's, you know, it's a good balance between black and between, you know, another color that's a little bit more exciting. So we'll go for that. For the windows, we are going to tint those all the way out. This is sort of an executive saloon car, so I want those to be tinted for sure. Now we got to take this thing outside because we can, of course, add machine guns to this vehicle as well. A lot of people don't know that, but that is a thing. But before we go and add machine guns to this vehicle, it's time to do a sound test. Let's see what this thing sounds like. It sounds pretty basic, nothing too special with it really, but it sounds good still. So now that we have the car outside, we're going to go ahead and take it over to the mobile operation center and put some upgrades on this thing. Now the Ubermacht Revolter, I do remember how quick this thing is, and it is very quick off the line. Let me tell you, the launch on this car is one of the craziest out of any car in Grand Theft Auto Online. I feel like it's got insane acceleration, like up to about 60 miles an hour. Then it sort of tops off, but it's still pretty damn good and it's still pretty impressive, I have to say. So let's head into the mobile operation center and then we'll get into the full review of this car after. Alright, so here we are inside. We got to go down to the weapons and we got to go ahead and add the machine guns onto this thing for $100,000. So we got those on. Let's exit out of this thing and get moving. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and select the machine guns on the Ubermacht Revolter because we got to do a test to see just how good they are. I can't remember if these machine guns are super good or if they're super bad. I can't remember if they're like the Night Shark or if they're like some of the newer Imani Tech vehicles, so we're going to have to find out real quick. Now, there is this poor Lampedetti felon here. I hate to do this, but we've got to for the customization and review. These things do quite a bit of damage, I can confirm. Those are quite good. They're also at a pretty good height where they will hit the vehicle's engine bay and that sort of area, so that is nice. Definitely pretty good placement on the machine guns on this vehicle, although they are a little bit wide for my liking. You can almost shoot them around both sides of a vehicle, I feel like, but they do so much damage that it really doesn't even matter. I mean, you can blow up a car like it's absolutely nothing with these, so that is pretty good. On top of that, this thing is lightning fast, like I mentioned. I'm going to go ahead and just stop this thing, and I'm going to hold the handbrake, and I'm going to launch this so you guys can see just how fast this vehicle actually is. Off the line, it's actually crazy how quick this vehicle is. Now, top speed-wise, the Ubermacht Revolter is not the greatest vehicle ever, and honestly, handling-wise, it could be a lot better as well. But the acceleration on this car really makes up for what it lacks in top speed and for what it lacks in handling ability. Now don't get me wrong, there are cars that handle worse than this thing, like the Declasse Vamos that I customized the other day. It handles much worse than the Ubermacht Revolter. This thing can really hold its own in like wider sort of corners like you get on the highways of Los Santos. However, in tighter areas, this thing is going to struggle a little bit. Now part of this is due to this vehicle being about 4 city blocks long, which is pretty crazy. I would say that this thing is honestly probably longer than the Schafter LWB, so it kind of makes sense that this thing doesn't have the greatest turning capabilities. However, with that being said, it is still capable at turning. I mean, it's not bad. As you guys can see, it is handling these roads pretty easily, and these are some pretty tight corners. However, you can see the vehicle start to struggle as we pull out of the corner a little bit. Now, the biggest problem with the Ubermacht Revolter, in my opinion, is that this thing does cost $1.6 million, which is an absurd amount of money. Also, obviously, if you put the machine guns on this thing and you fully upgrade it, you're probably looking at about a $2 million car. For that price, there are a lot of vehicles that are a little bit more capable than this thing that can basically do all the same things. For example, if you look at it, the Bravado Buffalo STX costs about the same amount as this vehicle, 1.6 million, and that vehicle has Imani Tech upgrades, albeit they are a little more expensive and you need to own an agency in order to upgrade it. But with this, you need an MOC or an Avenger. So this thing compared to the Bravado Buffalo STX, I mean, the STX would kill this thing around a track, I can guarantee that. However, the Revolter is definitely quicker in a straight line, at least to start out with. Top speed wise, I think the STX will actually beat this thing. So, I mean, this car's direct comparison that I can just draw right off the top of my head. I mean, the STX versus this thing, I'd pick the STX every single day. However, if you've already got an STX, I mean, the Ubermacht Revolter is really not that bad of a car. It's just the STX is so good that it makes this thing look kind of pathetic. For 1.6 mil, I can't necessarily recommend this car, but if you manage to win it off of the podium for free, then you really can't go wrong. It's definitely a car to have. Looks pretty cool, looks pretty futuristic. I mean, I gotta say, not my favorite looking Ubermacht car. From the front, it's pretty okay. From the rear, though, it's a little bit on the ugly side, in my opinion, at least. Overall, the Ubermacht Revolter, definitely not a car that I recommend picking up, but if you can manage to score one for free or while it's on discount, then maybe not the worst car ever. And there are definitely cars that are way worse than this thing. I want everyone to keep that in mind. That is it for the Ubermacht Revolter customization and review, guys, in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something from this video, a like is of course appreciated, if not dislike. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.